the correct breakdown of Revelation chapter 17. I'm going to go right into it, starting from verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials. Now remember, in the previous video I did on Revelation, the 8th chapter, it spoke about trumpets. And I mentioned trumpets, angels, seven trumpets. I mentioned seven troubles, pursuant to Job, the 5th chapter. So here in the 17th chapter, it says seven veils. So it says from the first verse again from the top, and there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. I don't know how you guys get the great whore being the Roman Catholic institution of Vatican City. This has absolutely nothing to do with Vatican City or the Vatican City and the Roman Catholic institution. Second verse. Oh, let's go back to the first. End of the first. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. When did he show him the vision of the judgment of the great whore? In chapter 18. The many waters represents the people. Let me just go to that. The great melting pot. Let me go down to that. And he saith unto me, 15 verse, Revelation 17 verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. America is also known as the great melting pot. When you go back to the turn of the century, when you had these different Europeans, and then you had other nations, Elamites, East Indians, Africans. This place is the great melting pot. But the start of the becoming the great melting pot was during the turn of the century. I'm talking about the 19th century going into the 20th century, which is from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. If you go to 1899, in the year 1900, that was the beginning of the 20th century. So now you should understand what the great waters represent. Second verse, Revelation 17 verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. What does it mean by fornication? Fornication, first and foremost, means adultery. Porneia, which means adultery. On a spiritual sense, the children of Israel committed fornication with some of the other nations, because they were delving into their culture, into their spiritualism, into their religion. You have that to this day. You know, Jake is all fucked up in these different ways of life. You know, whether it be Kemetic, the Moors, Islam, Baptist, Methodist, Roman Catholicism, becoming a Democrat or a Republican, voting, especially for someone of another nation. It tells you that in the book of Deuteronomy. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Deuteronomy 17. I'm not going to go to it. Somebody can put it in the description box. Second verse again, Revelation 17 verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, went to bed with America. These kings of the earth, these major rulers of the earth, they're not having any dialogue with the Roman Catholic Church. They're not flocking to Vatican City. Tell me when they mentioned the Vatican City and the Roman Catholic Church within the last 6 months. The only time the Roman Catholic Church is mentioned is during Easter and during Christmas and Lent. I don't remember in the last 6 months, outside of Christmas and Easter and so forth and Lent, that they even mentioned anything about the Pope. The Pope is pretty much insignificant. So what in the hell are you people talking about? Now I watched part of a video that Apostle Ramlab had put up, who is not the Roman Catholic Church or something like that, or Vatican City, I think it was. And that was a response of a video that Apostle Gabar had put up dealing with the same subject based upon the video that I did last night. Because I came across a video that from Dr. James White, and he showed a clip of this guy introducing Elder Ricard of the GOCC, and he was going to do a presentation on I forget the actual title, but he said the who are being something to the effect of the who are and the Roman Catholic institution, or something to that effect. You got to go back and watch the video to get the exact wording. So I said, what? I said, these guys are way off. They're way off. Now the guy that introduced, he's wearing all white. He was introduced Elder Ricard of the GOCC. He fell off. He said he made that statement. He introduced him in 2016, I believe. And then he fell out a couple of years later. So he clearly wasn't grounded. Anyway, second verse. Again, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, meaning they made deals. You ever see the president? He'll go to Israel and have a meeting with the leader of Israel, or he'll go to Saudi Arabia and have a meeting with the king, or if let's say the Johnson, which is the head of the political head of Great Britain or the UK, if he comes to this country, they'll sit down, himself and the current president, and they'll shake. They're in the room. You got the media asking. They may or may not ask questions, But what really goes on is what goes on behind the scenes. See, there's a lot of backdoor deals that go on behind the scenes. So let me read that again, second verse. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, with her policies, with America's policies. It's not an accident that the UN is in New York City, in America. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. The woman represents America. The scarlet-colored beast, or the red beast, represents the rest of NATO and the EU. That's the beast. And I'm always speaking on this, and it seems like people can't get the understanding of this. Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads and the 10 horns represent NATO, the NATO nations, which are all Europeans, all Edomites. And the 10 horns, which are now 28, 29, which are all European nations. That's the economic part of the beast. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. That represents royalty. And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Like the scripture said, these are the godly that prosper in the earth, in the world. It seems like they're never going to go down. And the reason why they're propped up is to fulfill prophecy, the Most High's prophecy or prophecies. So now we're at the very end of the prophecies. We're experiencing the last few prophecies. Currently, what's going on around the world, you know what I'm talking about, is going to lead to the MOTB. And we here at Great Millstone are the only group that pushes it. I didn't say the only group that teaches it. We're the only group that pushes it. Because it's practically here. This thing that we're experiencing right now is going to quickly lead to the MOTB, the Charagma. And like I said in previous videos, when that thing comes out, you're going to have a lot of these Israelites in these different groups. They're going to scramble and they're going to bug out. The ones that have half a brain. Because what we notice about y'all is you blindly listen to your masters. Whatever your master says, you don't go and check it out. You just go with it. Oh, the great master said it. So you're just going to go with it. And you're going to go with it to your detriment. Fifth verse. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great. Now numerically, when you take these words and you spiritually flip them around numerically through the Hebrew, it adds up to 606, six score and six, or 666. That's why Bill Gates, there was a big controversy with this, that's been, we talking about almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. There was something, I forget, somebody can put it up. We haven't talked about it. They haven't talked about it in the media. But it had 666 in it. Or 060606. That's their number. Biden had made a statement about something about this this bill, this multi-trillion-dollar bill. He said it's going to happen, whether it be, I believe he said 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. But it's going to happen. And I put a video of it, of that particular clip. Well, he threw in the, what he said was, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. 6th verse. And I saw the woman, which is America, not the Roman Catholic Church. If you're teaching that, you are on a low level. And the Most High is clearly not dealing with you. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. When these devils first came over here, starting with Columbus, they shed a lot of blood. So who were they killing? If you didn't accept so-called quote-unquote Christianity, you were put to death. So these Indios, the indigenous people that they encountered, were Israelites. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, and that goes back to the Roman Empire. And a lot of these scholars, they'll say that the Babylon the Great is the Roman Empire. Some of them say it's the Roman Catholic Church. Because it was the Romans that, when they took us down, they put a lot of us to death. Remember the slaughter of the babies. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. The word admiration means love, in the sense of a man looking at a woman. You know, you see a woman that looks good, and you don't say nothing. You might say hi or something like that. Or you look at her from a distance and you say, damn, she look good. She look good. Anyway, you know, you look at a whole being, if you know what I mean. It says, the 7th verse, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. Because he saw this woman, 6th verse again, I wondered with great admiration. He saw this fine, sexy woman, an Edomite woman at that. She was built like an Edomite brick house. So the angel had to break down and explain who this woman was or is. And John still didn't get it. See, the prophets of old, they received those visions, but they didn't understand. Even when the angel or angels explained it to them, They didn't get it. We get it now. That's why why you think we're breaking it down right now? Because we got it. 7th verse again, Revelation 17 verse 7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. A verse, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. The beast that thou sawest was and is not. That's the Roman Empire. And is not, and it's going to be destroyed. To be exact, for 1,000 years. And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit represents Europe. What character should come to mind? Christopher Columbus, Spain, Cesare Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand, which united, I believe it was Aragon, Spain, and Leon, Spain. If I'm not mistaken, somebody could put it in the description, in the comment section. See, that was a marriage out of convenience. Excuse me. You had a daughter of a king and a son of a king of a different kingdom. They would marry, so the 2 kingdoms would merge and become a bigger kingdom. It says, and go into perdition. Perdition meaning destruction. Plain and simple. And they that dwell upon the earth, that dwell on the earth, shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. The names that are written in the book of life from the foundation of the world are the elect, number 1, then the rest of Israel, because Israel is going to suffer that second death. But the elect of Israel shall be blessed. When they behold the beast that was and is not, Rome being destroyed, and yet is. And that's Christopher Columbus. Years go by. You have these alliances. Then you have this final alliance, which is NATO and the EU nations. Ninth verse. And here is the mind which hath wisdom, the 7 heads or 7 mountains, mountains representing kingdoms, governments, which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. The 5 that fell, the 1 is Rome. Rome itself. The 5 that fallen was the 2 Germanys, Upper Germany, Lower Germany, Germany Major, Germany Minor, the French, the Greeks. Okay, you got the 2 Germanys, you got France, Greece, and you have what did I miss? Oh, Spain. I'm sorry, Spain. Because Spain fell as well. So those were the 5 that fell. Now, out of the 5, who was the first to come into power? Spain. Going back to Christopher Columbus. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. The 1 is Rome. And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. That's the UK, Great Britain. The last major empire that ruled was Great Britain. When they started to diminish as a kingdom, that was during the time period of the Revolutionary War. You had wars among when so-called America was established, originally the 13 colonies. You had major wars: the French-American War, the Spanish-American War, the Revolutionary War, and you had wars and skirmishes ever since. So the short space is talking about Great Britain. Now, the Great Britain is the super elite that runs things behind the scenes, but the front guy is the USA, America. So you have 3 city-states, major city-states. You have London. You have the Vatican City, Rome. Now, the only time Rome is really mentioned is in Revelation 16 chapter. I beheld spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. The false prophet represents the Roman Catholic Church, the baby churches, and deep down they worship the spiritual demon Satan. You know, if you ever go to visit the Vatican City, you have one of the main rooms. It looks like a serpent's head, and there's I guess you could say statues of demonic-looking beings. I mean, yeah, I've come across it before, but if you really do a search, you'll find it. Most High willing, I'll do a search. And the beast that was and is not. Oh, by the way, they say Peter. There's a statue of Peter, but that's really Zeus. It said the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. That's Rome coming back, and is of the 7, and go off into perdition. Because what part of this 7-headed, now 8th head, is going to be destroyed? The 8th head, which is Babylon the Great, which is America. They're not going to shoot missiles on Vatican City. Now they can, but that doesn't mean that's a destruction of Babylon the Great. Remember, Babylon the Great is also known as that great whore. And I believe they're going to say that in at the end of this chapter. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now that 1 hour represents about 42 years. So what they're doing is they're living on borrowed time. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And that's talking about the EU nations. '14 verse. These shall make war with the Lamb. The Lamb is talking about Yahweh Shai. So these European Union nations, these NATO nations, they're going to use their military in the form of their fighter jets to attempt to stop our Lord and Savior and King when he comes back to deliver the elect. And they're going to be wiped out of heaven pursuant to Revelation, the 12th chapter. So we're in that time, man. Like I said before, I'd be surprised if we go to 2023. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, which are the elect. And the angels are with him as well. 15 verse, Revelation 17 verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whoer sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. America, the great melting pot. You can say every nation on the planet Earth, at least you have at least one person from every nation that's either been to America, visited America, lives in America. Revelation 17 verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is America. They ain't hating no Roman Catholic Church, man. Some of them are, most of them, I would say, are Roman Catholic. So how in the hell are they going to turn around and hate the Roman Catholic Church or the Roman Catholic institution? So you guys don't study. You don't get into the scriptures. You don't go through the root words, the etymology of words. You don't open up maps. You don't do any secular history. You have to know the history to get the mystery. And we here at Great Millstone do that. And you have people that come on the comment board that they can clearly see who the number one group is. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. What is the fire that they're going to burn her with? The intercontinental ballistic missiles. So there's going to be missiles and what do you call this? Warheads that's going to be coming from all directions. Revelation 17 verse 17. Got one more verse left. For the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. That's in Job. The Most High, man's going, also in Proverbs, man's goings are of the Lord, so how can a man know his own way? So Esau is nothing but a puppet. And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city. Ain't talking about no damn Vatican City. Vatican City is only 2 miles square. It's like a big square. Go 2 miles one direction. You make a left, go another 2 miles. Make another left, go another 2 miles. Go another left, go another 2 miles. It says, and the woman, which is America, which is Babylon the Great, which thou sawest, is that great city. What does it mean by great city? Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And global, what do you call this? What is it? What is the term? Is it global politics. I'm not saying it right. Somebody can put in a global affairs. Everything is based. Look, all you got to do is go to some of these European. You can go to Al Jazeera. You can go to Press TV, which is owned by the people of Iran, I believe. Either Iran or Iraq. Then you got the European news. Then you got the BBC. Go to any of these, and there has to be thousands of the RT. They deal with global affairs, and there's always a story dealing with America, dealing with the relationship between America and other nations, because this is that great